in one of the most dangerous escalations Southeast Asia has seen in years. Long simmering tensions between Thailand and Cambodia have exploded into open conflict, marking the deadliest clash between the two nations in over a decade. Welcome to GeoFrontline, your trusted source for global conflict analysis, strategy, and power plays shaping the world today. Let's uncover the full story behind this deadly confrontation, why it erupted now, and what it means for regional stability and the broader Indo-Pacific power struggle. The Thai-Cambodian border has long been a flashpoint. Historic grievances, disputed territories, and nationalist sentiment have kept relations tense. But the flashpoint this time was Preah Vihear, a centuries-old Hindu temple site perched on a cliff that straddles the contested frontier. Both countries claim sovereignty over the land surrounding it. Though the International Court of Justice ruled in 2013 that Cambodia held sovereignty over the temple itself, Thailand never fully accepted the surrounding territory's status. This latest violence began when Cambodian troops accused Thai forces of crossing into disputed territory and erecting military installations. In response, Cambodian artillery opened fire. Thai troops retaliated with both ground forces and helicopter support. Over 45 soldiers have reportedly died on both sides, and at least 5,000 civilians have been displaced in the escalating violence. Border villages are being evacuated, and both militaries have reinforced forward positions with heavy artillery and mechanized units. What makes this clash so concerning is not just the death toll, but the geopolitical context. For over a decade, ASEAN has managed to suppress large-scale military conflict among its members through diplomacy. But now, the failure of regional mechanisms to prevent this outbreak exposes serious cracks in Southeast Asia's security architecture. Behind the scenes, national politics are adding fuel to the fire. In Thailand, the military-backed government has come under pressure from nationalist groups to defend sovereignty at all costs. Hardliners within the army, already powerful since the last coup, have used the border dispute to consolidate internal support. On the Cambodian side, Prime Minister Hun Manet, the son of long-serving strongman Hun Sen, is looking to establish his own authority. A strong military stance against Thailand helps boost his nationalist credentials at home. China's influence in this conflict cannot be ignored. Cambodia has grown increasingly reliant on Chinese investments and military assistance. Its Ream naval base has been undergoing modernization with suspected Chinese backing, raising alarm in Bangkok and Washington alike. Thai intelligence sources suggest that Cambodian artillery used in the latest strikes may have been recently supplied through Chinese defense contracts. Thailand, on the other hand, maintains strong security ties with the United States. It is a major non-NATO ally and participates in the annual Cobra Gold joint exercises with U.S. forces. As tensions with Cambodia escalate, the Thai military has discreetly coordinated with U.S. Indo-Pacific Command for intelligence support and logistics. This localized border conflict, therefore, risks drawing in larger powers. China may see an opportunity to test U.S. responses in the region. Meanwhile, Washington cannot afford to let a close ally like Thailand be undermined by a Chinese-backed neighbor. ASEAN has scrambled to respond. An emergency summit was called in Jakarta, with Indonesia, Vietnam, and Singapore urging restraint. But no ceasefire has been achieved. The bloc's long-standing principle of non-interference is proving ineffective in the face of direct military confrontation. Diplomats privately admit that ASEAN is ill-equipped to handle this scale of crisis. International reaction has been swift. The United Nations has called for immediate de-escalation and opened the door for peacekeeping observers. The U.S. State Department has called on Cambodia to halt aggression and return to dialogue. China, unsurprisingly, has maintained a neutral tone, urging both sides to show restraint, while quietly supporting Cambodia's defense posture behind closed doors. What's unfolding here is not just a local territorial clash, it's a regional fault line with global implications. Southeast Asia is increasingly becoming the front line of a new strategic competition between the US and China. Every border dispute, every flashpoint carries the risk of drawing in larger powers. The local human cost is already devastating. Civilians on both sides of the border are being forced from their homes, with refugee camps springing up across northeastern Thailand. Access to food, water, and medical care is deteriorating. Schools have been closed and reports of landmines along escape routes are emerging. Humanitarian groups are calling it the worst refugee crisis between the two nations since 2011. Militarily, the Thai armed forces are deploying fast reaction battalions and mobilizing armored personnel carriers to the conflict zone. Drone surveillance over Preah Vihear has increased dramatically. Meanwhile, Cambodian troops have dug defensive trenches and deployed rocket artillery in anticipation of a prolonged engagement. While neither country has officially declared war, this is already a full-scale military confrontation in all but name. The danger now is miscalculation. If one side strikes a critical target, a command post, supply convoy, or civilian site, the conflict could spiral out of control. Back-channel diplomacy is underway. Thailand's foreign ministry is in quiet contact with Vietnamese and Indonesian counterparts to pressure Cambodia. Meanwhile, the US and Australia are engaging both sides to try to calm tensions. Washington reportedly offered mediation through Pacific Command channels, but Cambodian officials have rejected the offer so far, seeing it as biased. The international community faces a stark choice. Will this be another example of inaction, like in Myanmar's civil war? Or will we see a coordinated diplomatic surge to prevent a wider regional war? Beyond the immediate danger, this conflict sets a troubling precedent. If ASEAN cannot contain armed hostilities between member states, then the entire regional balance is at risk. It also emboldens external actors to exploit ASEAN's weaknesses. Already, military analysts believe China is watching this conflict closely to assess how far Washington will go in supporting allies in non-treaty situations. Strategically, Thailand occupies a critical position in mainland Southeast Asia. It borders Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, and Malaysia, and sits adjacent to key maritime trade routes. Any sustained military crisis here could disrupt regional logistics and draw in greater Indo-Pacific powers. On the Cambodian side, Chinese strategic goals are clear. Through deep economic and military cooperation, Beijing is slowly building a sphere of influence stretching from the South China Sea inland toward Thailand and Laos. Controlling or influencing military pressure points like Preah Vihear enhances China's indirect control. So, where does this go next? If the violence escalates, we may see ASEAN forced to abandon its principle of consensus and intervene collectively for the first time. Alternatively, major powers like the US, Australia, or even India could be drawn into mediation or indirect support roles. For now, the world watches a decades-old rivalry enter a dangerously modern phase, backed by drone footage, satellite intelligence, and regional power rivalries. Thailand and Cambodia's border is no longer just a local dispute. It is now a critical fault line in the global struggle for influence in Southeast Asia. Stay with GeoFrontline as we continue to track developments on the ground and analyze the global stakes of this historic and dangerous conflict. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay informed on the world's most critical flashpoints.